Well, hello, and welcome to the Points of Interest podcast. This is the most generic podcast on the internet. My name is Josh Ox. I am the 303 Ninja, and right over there, he is my podcasting partner for life. He is the other guy. It's Mr. Francis Fernandez.
I'm the most generic co-host on the internet.
That should be like your tagline on your Twitter.
I mean, I have because I'm co-host of a few shows. Why don't you say hi to our new follower there, Josh?
Our new follower, Trauma Hounds. Thank you for following us. Where'd you come from?
Yeah.
Are you watching now?
Right. Why are you here? What are you doing?
Why would you join us? No, thank you.
Why would you join us now? Yeah. No, great. Thank you very much. Welcome to our little slice of internet. Oh, that's
nice. I would like to say that they were a new follower from my recent outing at FanExpo Denver, but thankfully, it was 5 days ago.
What was it 5 days ago?
No, the Trauma Hounds following us was 5 days ago. The show as of recording was like 48 hours ago. But
what's up?
I'm tired, man. I'm still trying to
Apparently.
I completely forgot that it was Tuesday at 7:30ish, and we were supposed to be doing this, so that's why it's 8ish Mountain time, and why we're starting, 15 minutes later than we've been starting recently, and half hour later than I'd say that you should join us.
It's a holiday it's a weird holiday in the middle of the week on a Tuesday. It's a day that President Whitmore fought back the aliens and saved the planet. So we have, it's a big deal, right? Like we got to thank the Fresh Prince and the one of the crazy what's the cousin from the vacation movies?
Randy Quaid.
Randy Quaid. I was trying to think of his character name, but yes, we're Randy Quaid. We have Ian Malcolm from Jurassic Park, all saving us from aliens.
He found a way to turn back from a fly to help us defeat aliens later in life.
Welcome to Earth.
Revert back from a fly, which is kind of scientific, to then later help defeat dinosaurs, to then later defeat aliens.
He's been there with us this entire time.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Saint. What was that one guy that made candles of different saints? Thank you for our Saint Ian.
Omakase Designs.
Wow, you remember. Good job.
I pulled that out of my ass.
That was well done.
Thank you.
Well done.
I wonder how that guy... it's funny. I have seen that guy's candles. The exact candles, but under a different name.
He had we saw his booth at WonderCon last year, or was it? Yeah, it was last year because I didn't go this year. Oh no, it hasn't happened this year yet. Last year,
WonderCon, yeah, didn't it already?
WonderCon has happened. So yeah, we missed this year's WonderCon. So last year's WonderCon, we went and we saw his booth. I want to say we saw the candles, and it was some random lady who was running it.
And I asked, it's very strange. I know another guy. I met a guy that makes candles very similar to this, named Omakase Designs, and the lady was like, "Oh, it's the same person," and I was like, "So Zeph?" Yeah, it was Zeph. And she was like, "Who?" And I was like,
"Yeah, his name was like Daniel or something, wasn't it? Or like James,
something like that." But no, he went right. But I remember specifically, he was like, "Oh, don't call me Zeph or something." I had to go back. You can find it on the YouTube page.
We have an interview with the guy.
Yeah, there's an interview on there. But yeah, it's odd. It is odd seeing even new vendors at this new thing. But yeah, we should get one of those. We should get one of those saint candles.
Saint candle. We should have at least one saint candle. We should both agree on a single saint, of whom a pop culture saint of whom we will light a candle for, and have in the background of every episode of this show. So the patron saint of the Points of Interest podcast.
There you go. That'd be awesome.
Who's the most generic actor you know, I guess is the question. Like, who is just the most plain Jane actor who's always doing the most generic roles and never does anything to stand out? And you have to like him too. You can't. You just can't be like
the guy Gone in 60 Seconds.
Nicolas Cage?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He's kind of generic.
Well,
I mean,
he's kind of generic. Yeah.
He could fill any role. I mean, he was gonna be fucking Superman at one point.
He was. He actually, for spoiler alert for everyone, I don't know how much you care about this, but I'm gonna spoil it anyway. But he makes a cameo appearance in the Flash movie as Superman. So you see Nicolas Cage's Superman.
Really?
For like a second, yeah, in the Flash movie. Yeah.
I didn't know that, and that's fucking awesome. Makes me want to see the movie even more now. I'm not going to go to the theater, but I definitely am going to see it.
It'll be in streaming like in 2 seconds. That movie failed in the box office.
It'll be available to me even sooner.
Oh.
Allegedly.
No comment.
Allegedly.
No comment.
But that's fucking awesome. But no, he's a generic. I think he's kind of generic actor. He's just in every movie he's in. He's flashy and he's like a Muppet. His arms just are constantly going. But he could be anything. He was a clumsy FBI agent helping out James Bond.
He was a car thief.
He was a car thief. He was almost Superman, or was Superman. We could say that now.
He was for a second. He's Superman. He protected the Constitution from being stolen in National Treasure. He, he's pretty. He's out there, but I get where you're coming from. Like in the grand scheme of actors, he kind of plays the everyman role. He doesn't stand out like a Tom Cruise or a Tom Hanks. Anyone named Tom, any Tom actor.
Tom Green.
Tom Green, yeah. Oh God, I'm trying to. I had the Tom Green movie in my head, the only one I can think of, and I lost it. Oh well. He starred in a movie, didn't he? Tom Green started in a movie once, didn't he?
I think his own movie, because who the fuck wanted to work with him?
I don't know.
I'm just saying, like that fucking, late 90s Tom Green was pretty annoying. He
wasn't, I don't know. I don't know what made him popular either. He was like, I don't know what made him so great, like he wasn't that funny, but I guess whatever, it's fine. Sorry, Tom Green. Good on you. It was Freddy Got Fingered. That's the movie. That's the movie I was trying to think of. Freddy Got Fingered.
Well, you know who did get fingered recently?
Who
Francis.
got fingered, Josh?
Please share. All Twitter users recently got fingered by having their tweet looking at tweet capability.
They all had a right.
Capped at 600 tweets, unless you were verified.
If you're a regular member, 600, which he up to 800 later on, and then 6,000 to I believe 8,000. Is that still happening? Because I never experienced it. I was on Twitter the whole time. This whole limit was in place, and I never got the you ran out of tweets to look at or whatever. I never reached the limit.
And all of this is kind of leading up to us talking about FanExpo. We'll get there, but
that's okay.
But I saw that while waiting on the train from FanExpo, And I saw that, and I was like, well, let's see if I can hit it. And I wasn't just scrolling to scroll to see if I can hit it. I was legitimately scrolling because the train wasn't moving. So I was like, well, fuck it. Might as well see what the world is doing and complaining about this tweet limit while I scroll through my supposed 600 tweets. I'm just looking at people bitching about the tweet limit.
Which is funny.
Yeah. Never hit it. And I had an hour of scrolling easily between several different times of not moving on a train, and never hit it. So
I feel like the internet trolled us that day, because I don't think a limit actually existed, and people were just trolling us because they would post that they reached a limit, and I'm like, well, if you reached a limit, how do you post? But I guess you can only read 600.
Right.
I guess you can post as often as you want. You can only read so much. I'm like, okay, I guess I'll wait till I get to mine, and it just never happened. And I guess I'm assuming it's gone now. This limit is gone.
I'm guessing.
Complaining about it anymore. Yeah.
Because again, I've been accomplishing very little today, and Twitter was a big part of me not accomplishing anything.
It's all right. I wasn't accomplishing much either. I'm with you. I'm with you, brother. I'm with you.
Oh, here comes the rain. Hopefully the internet doesn't totally take a shit on us as a huge thunderstorm starts to roll in here. But we'll see. So much for the fireworks that were about to happen.
Oh, that sucks. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Our internet famous local weather dude, Crispy Donkey, has forecast for a couple days that tonight was going to suck for fireworks. You're looking at me like Crispy Donkey. Yes, the closed captioning just totally trolled this guy, and his name is Chris Bianchi.
Oh,
but the closed captioning called him Crispy Donkey, and I can't think of him as anything else now.
I still think our local weatherman is named Dallas Rains. So you're, Crispy Donkey. Like, that's cool. Yeah, his name is Dallas Rains. Yeah. I don't know why Dallas, because Dallas isn't in
Thank
California.
you, because you're in the greater LA area.
Right. It's like Dallas?
And I'll step out on a limb, but I'm fairly certain there isn't a city in California named Dallas.
No. We have Venice. We have
Well,
Paris.
yeah. The fucking skateboard capital of the world.
That's true.
Or the beach workout capital of the world.
That's true. Muscle Beach is there. That's very true. We do have Muscle Beach there.
Or like the coolest boardwalk ever.
Yes. Now there's no longer the slums. Yes, it's become a cool boardwalk again. It used to be the home of all the homeless used to encamp on Venice, on the strip of Venice right by the beach, and people were freaking out because they're like, we don't want to go to the beach anymore. And we somehow, I don't know where we put them, but somehow LA County or something, and they cleared them out somehow, and now people want to go back to the beach, which is good because it's summertime. It's hot.
It is hot. Well, not right now. It's raining, but
no. Yeah, you got the weird weather.
I mean, in every city, there's some saying about the weather, I'm sure. But the one here is, if you don't like the weather, wait 5 minutes. And sometimes that is very true. Sometimes it's true that we have all 4 seasons in a day. That happens. I don't know how you really have spring and fall in a day, but you know what I'm saying.
That's the transition from when you get from cold weather to hot weather, and then hot weather to cold weather.
I'll give you that. But yeah, I'm sure LA has its own. If you don't like the weather, wait till the smog rolls in or something. I don't know. If you think it's hot now, wait till the smog traps all the heat.
That's good. Yeah. Oh yeah. Welcome to the valley. Everything is disgusting and hot.
Do girls still talk all weird in the valley?
They didn't talk weird to begin with. I don't think.
Oh,
I think
that's
that
just
was just a weird, fun stereotype
Oh, okay.
people had about people from the valley, because that's where the celebrities live, is in the valley. So it's just kind of like, oh well, all the rich valley girls sound exactly the same.
Well, what if I were to offer you a way to get rich?
Quick. Oh man.
Quick,
I hope it's
yeah.
crypto.
Here's where the commercial is. No.
Is it gold? Is it crypto? Is it buying houses? And
No, this one's brought to you by our friends at, I don't know. I couldn't think of anything.
Okay.
No. Okay, so I saw this on the internet, so you probably already seen this, but I thought it was funny. But I'm going to give you $10 million. But there's a catch.
Great. Oh, okay.
You already know it. God damn it. All right, for everybody else.
Hit me anyway. Hit me.
For everybody else. The catch is that there is going to be a snail that chases you for the rest of your life. The snail knows where you are at all times. The snail can't be harmed, and its only purpose is to kill you. If it touches you, you die a horrible death. Do you take the $10 million, or do you tell me to fuck off?
Well, so the response to that was, can the snail swim? And can the snail hitch itself to like vehicles and stuff?
Look,
right?
God damn it, I said it again.
If you travel across the ocean, oh boy.
Oh, are we doing the thing? All right.
I think the storm took his internet.
Well, at least people can hear my side. At least, maybe. I don't know. It's recording anyway on my side. But people were asking about caveats. If they can, if the snail can swim, if it could fly, if it could chase you wherever.
Weather.
Are you back? Possibly. I can hear you again anyway.
Stormy weather.
Are you back?
It must be the storm.
It must be the storm. Are you there?
I am here.
Okay.
Are you there?
I'm here.
That's the question. Is the real question.
I never left.
All right. I'm waiting for. Before I say anything, I want Twitch to stop spinning. It's spinning right now.
Oh.
So Twitch is spinning its little circle around. Loading.
Oh. I also see that I also see this as well. Well, I don't see that part.
Maybe you just have to
okay.
reload
It should be
so.
here. It should be coming back now.
I just like that the when the video is gone, it's just this guy with his hands in his hair, like frustrated, just really upset. But yeah, no, the gimmick was, can the snail cross water, attach itself to vehicles? Because then you just move to an island and you can never get to you.
But if its only purpose in life is to kill you, it will find a way to get to you.
The other one was, can you just put and it can never die. What if you just put it in a jar and then seal the jar?
See, this is the same shit I got from everybody else when I was bringing this up. Like, the scenario is laid in front of you. There was no I didn't leave a goddamn option for questions. I laid the scenario out in front of you. It's a yes or no. And everybody was like, yeah, but can it fly? Can it swim? I'll just go to another country. And it's like, its only purpose is a Terminator. It's a Terminator snail. It's gonna find you.
Yeah. Look. $10 million isn't enough anymore. Do you think $10 million is enough, even for a snail to eventually catch up to you and kill you? Because you'd have to be constantly moving.
You would.
So is $10 million enough for you?
Probably.
To be constantly on the move.
I mean, probably. Yeah.
Okay.
If you got $10 million, you might as well be spending it. Man, the internet really is taking a shit. I'm watching this whole thing unfold in front of me, and it doesn't look good.
Well, it is stormy.
It is very stormy here, so I couldn't have a lot to do with it, even more to do with it than my normal shitty internet. But we did talk about last time. I found a fix. It will be happening soon. I just had to get license plates on my car. And that, I think, is going to take a big chunk of my money.
If you just but you want to get the fancy license plate.
No, it's just a license plate you can ask for. It's not a special license plate.
But then when you get the really fancy.
No, the fancy ones are the ones with fucking stegosauruses on them, which are fresh. You know, or like the veteran one, or the Columbine, because that's the state flower, or the one with the Lucifer on it, or something like that. Like that, those are all extra. I just want, and it's like a paper plate. It's not even fucking metal.
Really?
Yeah, I don't even know if it's paper, but it's printable, they said. So I don't know what the fuck that means.
I don't know what that means either. That's weird. How much your money, really? It shouldn't cost you anything.
Well, I mean, when you register your car, it does cost you a lot of money.
I guess so.
For the first time. And then after that, it's less. But the first time, it's always more expensive.
Well, it's up to you, man. I put the ball in your court on how you want to proceed moving forward for today.
Well, before we get to that, let's talk about that. You went to go see Indiana Jones. I was offered.
okay.
I was offered to go talk to Indy. No, to go see Indiana Jones. But if I'm going to be real talk here, of all of them, I only really like The Last Crusade.
Same.
Like, that's the only one that I'll go back and watch over and over and over again. I enjoyed the one where they rip people's hearts out and, like, pull them out.
Kalima.
Yeah, I love that. I love that part. That's rad. But that's a slow moving movie. It's fun. It's fun, but it's not one that I'm like, I feel like an action movie that has Indiana Jones in it. I'm gonna go Last Crusade every single time. So being that, I didn't want to take a seat away from somebody that actually did want to go see it and do actual work for a website instead of me just going and being like, thanks for the free movie, guys.
Well, you wouldn't have been taking a seat away from anybody because no one watched the movie this weekend.
Okay.
300 and some, it's like a $300 million budget. It only made like $50 million this weekend.
Ouch.
So it's a big old flop. It's a big old failure of movie.
Now I keep hearing, and correct me, but I keep hearing that this is some sort of a sequel to The Last Crusade, and they're all, I guess, sequels of each other. But this is some sort of a direct sequel.
No, it's a sequel to it's a sequel to The Crystal Skull. Like, it takes up.
So even less people saw that.
Yeah, like it touches on the events of The Crystal Skull, like stuff that happened in it. And I never saw Crystal Skull. I just watched reviews, so I know what happened because other people spoiled it already for me. I have no interest in watching Crystal Skull. But it's not like Henry Jones Sr. is ever really brought up. It's not like they talk about the Holy Grail. There's not like conversations about anything that anyone cares about from The Last Crusade on here.
Sure.
Sala is there, right? I guess that's the connection to The Last Crusade because Sala is there. But that's it.
Sala. Oh, the guy that helped him get the fucking camels and shit.
Yeah, John Rhys Davies.
The bigger dude, right?
The bigger dude. Yeah. So you see Sala in this as like, oh, thank you for helping me immigrate to the United States. That's like That's like a big thing. He doesn't actually do anything in the movie. He's just there to remind you that he existed at some point. But yeah, like this movie didn't have to be made. It probably shouldn't have been made because it doesn't make sense. Right? Like, why is 80-year-old Harrison Ford still going on an adventure?
Right.
Why is he still jumping out of cars and like raiding tombs and fighting Nazis? Like, why is that a thing he's doing at 80 plus years old? Like, why? It doesn't make sense. But it's fine. It's an okay movie. Like, I wasn't bored. But I also didn't care at the end. Like,
so very stereotypical popcorn movie. summer popcorn movie.
which is not what you want from an Indiana Jones movie.
No.
You want humor, which there wasn't a lot of humor in it. There wasn't a lot of like the twist is fun. I really actually like the twist. The twist is good. You know, the MacGuffin is good. Like all that stuff is good, but you could totally skip this movie and be fine watching it from home. It is just not. It's fine. And if you want to hear the Indiana Jones theme like remixed, thank you, John Williams, at 90+ years old, doing the score for this movie. But it's his last score ever. But it's really just different variations on the Indiana Jones theme. It's kind of whatever. So yeah, you know, just to avoid spoilers in case you guys want to see it, certain characters do not show up that people wanted to show up, which I guess is a huge spoiler for people who know what I'm talking about. And other characters I wouldn't have expected show up, and I'm like, oh, all right, cool. Like that's cool. I like that. I like that character. Glad they showed up. But yeah, it's fine. I don't.
It's fine.
The motivations don't make sense. Indiana Jones makes weird decisions, like make zero sense for the character. Like it's just a dumb movie. And many people are hoping this is the last Kathleen Kennedy movie ever, and that they get rid of her. Which she's been the one kind of pulling the reins for, or like kind of dictating how Star Wars and all of the other kind of big tentpole movies.
I've been saying that since hour one of her hire, but nobody listened to me then.
Yeah. Well, now they're hoping this is it. This is the final straw as Disney, for the fourth movie in a row, loses money. Because
like, wasn't she like a fucking accountant or something?
She was George Lucas's like assistant or something like that. Like she was an assistant on Empire Strikes Back, I want to say. And then they just hired her as like the lead to run Lucasfilm.
Yeah, after they bought it.
After they bought it, yeah. And it's like she was never like she never had the experience.
Right.
She was just, you know, an easy hire because she was legacy. She's a legacy hire. You know, she's like, oh, I'm pals with the guy who owned this stuff.
Right.
We rubbed elbows.
I got him caught. Well,
You're not, Josh. You're not wrong.
I actually did say that out loud.
You did, and it's perfectly accurate. So,
oh well.
Yeah. So whatever. It's whatever. It's fine. It just. I'm glad this is the end.
Yeah, I hope it is, because you know it only means good things could possibly come, because finally give the keys to Filoni. Give one key to Filoni, give the other key to Favreau, and then give the spare key over there to George, and just let it go. Let it do its thing, because that's all the seed you need. Because George will sit there and be like, oh, well, I've got this idea for this, and oh, we should do this. And then John and not JJ, what the hell did I say? Fucking
John Favreau and Filoni.
Favreau and Filoni will be like, all right, let's take what he said. Let me put my cowboy hat on. Filoni will say.
Oh, Dave Filoni, not James. Dave Filoni. Yeah.
Dave Filoni. He'll put his cowboy hat on, and Favreau and him Favreau will. I can't think of anything.
Cook food in his, because he loves to cook.
Oh. I was gonna say you probably smoke a bowl.
You know what? His big thing was making food. Like he had like a show where he made food for his celebrity friends. It was like on Netflix, and he would just have them over and he would cook for them.
Who'd have thought
that was a thing?
That gutter would ever become anything?
You mean John Favreau? Really?
Gutter from PCU.
Oh, right. Yeah.
You never saw it, did you?
I know of it. I know of those films. You know, I know of the movies he did before. He was a sneaker. What was his first film where he was like a slacker? Got Sneakers or something like that, or
I don't know.
Maybe it was Slackers, but he was like his very first
Sneakers
film.
Sneakers is a movie about a black box, a decoder box.
Is it really?
It's got Dan
It's not about
Aykroyd.
shoes.
No, it's got Dan Aykroyd and Sidney Poitier and Robert Redford, I think, and River Phoenix.
Oh. Wow, River Phoenix. Huh?
I think it's River Phoenix. Pretty sure it's River Phoenix. There's some other guy, but he's funny too.
Oh, it's Swingers was his first movie.
And that's close.
Swingers.
Sneakers.
And it was a single
swingers.
word with an S on it. Yeah,
I
it
mean,
was a single name.
I mean, swingers kind of are sneakers.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, kind of. I don't know how sneaky it is. Like, here, fuck my wife.
I mean, anyway. Like it. All right.
Oh shit. But yeah. So okay, Indiana Jones. Wait for it.
Yeah.
Wait for it to stream, I guess, huh?
C. Yeah. C. Grade for me. It was okay. It was fine.
Well, I'll probably never see it.
You know.
Or
You're
if-
not missing out on anything.
Or if we
you'll never
decide one
see
day
it.
to, like, you know, if we have the technology one day to, like, you know, like Mystery Science Theater it one day, you know, maybe then. But we don't
Hey,
have, we don't have that
I know the
technology.
guy. I know the guy who what do you call it? Brought it back, gave it its rebirth. So we could
Myra?
probably work something out. No, there's a writer that worked with one of the original guys, and he helped bring back
Oh,
MST3K.
no.
We had him on. I met him at WonderCon at the con lounge for where they serve you potato chips and soda.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And yeah,
The
and
10
I just
for-
sat
10
at a table.
forward, right?
10 forward.
Yeah.
I sat at a table by myself, and people kept sitting beside me and talking to me, as is per usual.
Mm-hmm.
Even though I'm there to just sit by myself.
But you got
She
this
wants
inviting face, Francis. That, you know, the
Apparently.
people look at you and they just want to talk to you.
So this guy who was like, he's a writer and he's like a web series guy. He worked with, I forget which one of the two original MST3K guys, and he brought back this current version of the show.
Mm.
So he's like a producer or something. Like he has some type of like, he has a credit to bringing it back. And we had him on Super Geeked Up recently. He's a cool guy. Really nice guy. But yeah, I'm like, well, he has the, if there's anyone who can help us do it, Josh, I know a guy. I'm just trying to tell you, I finally know a guy. You know all the guys, Josh, as is evident of Denver the FanExpo. But I know at least one guy now.
Well, that's good. I mean, we know people, Francis.
You know people.
We
Between the
know
two.
we know some people. We know some people.
Yeah.
But you know, we don't know people that have the technology to make, you know, garage MST3K version.
Ah.
You know, one day.
One day.
But yes, as you alluded to, as I've already kind of alluded to myself, is FanExpo Denver 2023 happened this past weekend as of recording, and it was an epic weekend. Friday, typically at the show formerly known as Denver Comic Con, formerly known as Pop Culture Con.
For like a year. Right?
Yeah, like a year. This year, just like one of the years, the entire floor was open.
Mm-hmm.
The entire convention floor, which was really nice. It was crammed with lots of things, all kinds of vendors, all kinds of authors, artists. T-shirt Tower was there. Can't go wrong with that. You know you're at a real convention when T-shirt Tower is there.
Mm-hmm.
The celebrities were in mass and in varieties of fandom.
Mm-hmm.
Sadly, I did not get my Optimus Prime signed by Optimus Prime.
Oh no!
I did
Yeah,
get to
you
see
mentioned
him
that.
with my naked, well, not my naked eyes because I wear glasses, but I wouldn't have been able to see him without my glasses. But I got to see the man with my face, you know, so I know what he looks like in real life. So I'm okay with that.
Good.
The line was disgustingly long. I would have spent the majority of my Saturday standing in line for a 90-second interaction. Roughly. You know what I'm saying?
Gotta flaunt.
And, you know, hunking over a huge chunk of cash. But it would have definitely been cool to have my Optimus Prime signed, for sure. But just the line was just, the line and the price, and I understand the price and I understand the line because the guy doesn't do this ever. But I couldn't give up an entire, a big portion of my day for a line.
What would have been kind of cool, because I know you're gonna tell us about what you did, but if you had, because you had an option, you had choices in regards to the type of thing you could have done, given what you're about to tell us. I'm sure he did a panel. I'm sure he did. Yeah.
There was panels. And from my own experience and what I heard a lot of people saying, it was really hard to figure out where the panels were and what and where, because there was zero internet inside that building. And there was no physical program.
No, of course not, because why would you do that? You would, of course, only have a digital
all on an app
program.
or all, online. And I'm sure if you did it through the app, they would have told you to download the schedules, before. But not everybody does that. A lot of people rely on a physical program.
Why are they getting rid? Here's the thing. It's the easiest souvenir you can get for a convention, which is the physical program. I have so many physical programs from San Diego, WonderCon, etc. I realize it's piling up in a box somewhere, but who cares? At some point, I'm going to open up that box, put it out on display, and be like, look at all the cons I went to. I went to 1 million of them. Why do they want to get rid of the one thing? I know it costs money, but it's pretty cheap to print because it's just mostly text. There's very few pictures, and usually people put ads on there, right? Like people put coupons and ads and stuff of their stuff in there. And then there's your free, like your one free, outside of your badge, your one free kind of souvenir for the convention is like a physical copy. But I get it, because the schedule changes. People move around, stuff around.
Right.
It's like, okay, fine, whatever. But it's so stupid. I hate digital schedules. Just stick to a paper one. And
I did hear a lot of people complain about it and I will get to the panels that I was a part of. I'll get to that part. But while waiting, people were walking up to the room managers and being like, "Where's this panel? Where is this happening? I thought it was here." Or whatever. So, different areas had better success with internet, but once you're on the show floor, I literally tried to look at something, and my phone was basically told me to just turn me off because nothing works. You need to make a 911 call. I can do that, but that's about it.
Were there no exhibitor Wi-Fi? Because exhibitors usually get their own Wi-Fi, separate Wi-Fi.
I am not here, Francis, to complain about anything, really. Right? But what I heard from the vendors and the internet, it was very expensive to get internet. Yes, and you had to pay per device for not a lot of internet.
Dumb. Wow. Oh, FanExpo, what are you doing?
So that's a vendor complaint. That's I don't have to worry about paying for internet because I was in the same boat as everybody else that had none. Because and that's nothing. That has nothing to do with FanExpo. That just happens to do with everything, the technology of cell phone usage, and only having 5Gs. If we had more Gs.
All I can say is this: is San Diego Comic-Con gave their vendors free Wi-Fi. That's all I'm going to say.
Well.
And that's way larger, I feel, than FanExpo Denver.
Right. But like I said, I'm not here to complain. That's not my complaint. That's just something that
What
I
is your
heard.
complaint?
I don't have any
Okay.
complaints.
Good.
I had a great time.
Okay.
I was able to bring my my hot ass girlfriend, or my hag, to the show this year, which was pretty fun. Yeah.
Is that like a title she gave herself, or is that something you just gave
yeah?
her?
So I'm just running with it now. Not hag. I shortened that, but hot ass girlfriend. Yeah, that she gave that to herself.
She was
Yeah, and I mean, I'm not gonna complain. I'm not gonna say no.
No,
I'm not
would
gonna
I?
say no.
Yeah.
No, you're wrong. You know.
Right.
So.
No. Yeah.
But she came with me on Friday, and we were walking around checking things out. And while looking at one booth, I was like, "Oh, we should go to this area here. I see something that I want to check out."
Mhm.
So when she was done looking at something, we're walking over to this other thing, and then all of a sudden, I hear my name.
Mm.
And it was definitely directed at me. It wasn't one of those things where you just happen to hear your name, even though I have a very common name. And I turn, and there is our friend, Nikki Rapp, and her partner, AJ, and AJ Moore. And I was like, I didn't even know you were here. I was thinking about a week prior, hey, Nikki usually is here.
Mm-hmm.
I should ask her if she's coming. And
that's nice.
I just, forgot. Life happens. But it was just so odd to be walking by. I didn't even see their booth. We had passed the booth by the time she said my name. So,
Right.
and it's just, it's heartwarming to know that, like, somebody out there that has no reason to be calling out my name at a show when they see me to do that. It's just
you
like,
had her guest on this show.
yeah, she co-hosted an entire episode.
Mm.
And it's so awesome how overly nice she's been from the day that I met her.
Mm.
And I say that there's no reason for her to be my friend, acquaintance. I say friend. But I say there's no reason, but it's just awesome that we have a friendship, we have an acquaintance, whatever it is. I think it's really cool, and I appreciate it. And it's just really cool that somebody like that would just recognize me instead of me being like, "Oh, look, it's Nikki," and go run over to her.
Right.
It's not that she jumped up and ran out of her booth to come, see. But you know what I'm saying? Like,
She called out to you, which is
Yeah.
pretty nice. That's a lovely gesture.
Yeah.
That's a very nice gesture.
So it was really cool to see her, and catch up with her, see what she's up to and whatnot. And then, kind of reintroduce her to the lady, which she was like, "Oh, you guys are still hanging out or, together, that's awesome." Like, yeah, it is pretty awesome. We saw some of the familiar faces that we see here at all the shows here, regardless of what show it is. I see some of the familiar faces, some that you know, some that you don't know. Like a nice layout of the floor. They got rid of the concessions on the show floor and put them in another area of the building.
Okay.
To make more room for more stuff. The Fonz was there. Optimus was there. New Ash was there. Bubbles was there. Doc Brown was there.
Were these all people that you actually interacted with, or
No.
were you just
No.
visually?
They were just there. I would have loved to have seen Chevy Chase, but much like Kevin Smith and
Kevin Smith was there.
no,
Really?
no. But much like Kevin Smith or the Pink Ranger or Iceman or some of those other people that have booths surrounded by curtain, so you can't see them whatsoever unless you're in the booth with them, which you got to go through like some sort of tunnel to get through, a tunnel of curtain, so there's no way for people on the outside to see who's inside the curtains.
That because then you can't take the free picture
Exactly.
of the person from a distance.
Yeah.
Oh, so lame. All right.
So, and everybody's thing was very expensive. Christopher Lloyd's, I think, cheapest interaction was like $160 or $70.
What the hell?
Cash,
Why?
cash only.
Oh,
Probably because the internet sucked so bad that they couldn't process a card fast enough.
You can do
But you know, I mean, it was just big. That's all I could say. It was big, and it was nice to see that it was big because I saw so many new faces. Now, granted, 10 years ago on the show, close to 100,000 people at every show. You're not going to see the same faces, but you see the familiar faces. The same people do the same cosplay year upon year. You know who these people are when you see them.
Right.
I saw a lot of new faces, which is also great to see. Because as we've been talking about, the last 3 years of cons in general have taken a big dip.
Yeah.
I mean, San Diego Comic-Con, for a lot of people, fell off the map this year because no big name studios, TV, movie, or video games, or comics, are even attending.
Yeah,
so
that's true. You're not wrong. You're not wrong about that.
So it's at least nice to see that Denver is possibly on back on a little uprise after a few years of rocky ownership, name changes, smaller, not smaller venue because it's in the same venue, but a smaller show floor.
Mm-hmm.
It's nice to see that it's bouncing back a little bit. Our friends at Source Point Press had a booth right inside the front door, right where all the AC was being channeled and just shot right through the center of their booth. So I spent a lot of time there. I spent a ton of time there because it was nice and cool.
Okay.
Not to mention, it was a cool place to hang out because our friends at Source Point were there. I met up with everybody that was there, was talking to Travis, and as Travis tends to do, from what I understand, talked me into helping them out. So
nothing wrong with that.
There's absolutely nothing wrong with that because over the years, I've always felt like, am I actually a part of this group? Am I actually friends with these guys? Or am I friends by association? By being friends with other people.
Right.
So it was really cool to be like, nope. I have my own relationship with these guys. So Travis asked me if I would help them in whatever way I could. I said yes, of course. And he reached in his pocket and handed me an exhibitor badge, which was better than the media badge I had because it actually let me into the building a little bit earlier than the media badge did.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Not really better, but it helps me out so I can at least get to their booth before the show opened so I can get my instructions on what to do.
Oh, yeah, sure.
But before we get to Sunday, he asked me if I would help. I said, sure. Saturday, my mom came. And,
always nice.
We always, encourage moms, bring moms to cons, #. And so the moms came, and we walked around and checked as much as the show out as we could, talked to the people that she has a few favorites, artists that we've met, local artists that we've met over the years. And she's like, oh, let's go talk to him and see how he's doing. And I'm like, how do you even remember that detail about this person? Let's go. So it was a lot of fun. It's pretty awesome. We were walking past a booth that had toys, a variety of different toys. Nothing in the Transformer variety, but something did catch my eye as I was walking by, and it's like it'd be hard to see because I got the filter on this camera, but there is
fun
an Alf action figure that she got me, and it's pretty awesome. We got interchangeable hands. We got a little, it's cool. I wish I had a different setup in this room so I can have like stuff behind me like you do.
Oh yeah.
Right? Because I would put this behind me because he has a little podcast setup, basically.
Oh, that's fun. Oh, that's cool.
On the show, he had a little radio that he could try to communicate with Malmec, right?
Yeah.
So he's got a little microphone and a little thing that looks like the Roadcaster.
Yeah, you realize they'll never sponsor you as a result now.
I know.
All the time you put that.
But it comes with a fucking a cat sandwich.
I mean,
that
all
was,
I can think of is it an actual cat in a like a,
yes.
a okay.
I wish I could show you, but I don't want to open it.
No. Well,
not yet. I need some place to display it.
Yeah, you always buy two, one to keep in the box and one to put out in display.
Well, I'll remember that next time I'm at a convention and see another one of these things. But Saturday. Friday, actually. Was it Friday? Yeah, it was Friday. I'm walking past. They had a whole line of anime cars outside.
Nice.
And I'm walking past this one car, and it only caught my eye because it was out of place. All these cars were wrapped, except for this one. And this one was old as shit in comparison to the rest of the cars. And plain.
Initial D, isn't it?
No. It's cooler and lame all at the same time.
Okay.
I'm walking past the car. It has a vanity plate. It says Jesse. But it doesn't click. And I'm looking at the car. And it's a older model, white Jetta GTI.
Okay.
And I look at it, I'm like, for the year, it's pretty fucking fresh. It's pretty clean. I don't like Volkswagens, but looks good. Whoever did that looks good. Don't know why the fuck it's here. Doesn't fit in with everything else, but it looks good. Walked away. Saturday. Walking by after the show is done. See the same car. See a guy standing next to it talking about it. I hear his voice. And I'm like, no, still not clicking. But he's pretty hyped about that fucking car, and people are hyped to see him. So whatever it is pretty fresh to somebody.
Sure.
Still looks clean and good, though. Go home. And I'm just kind of scrolling through the Twitters, trying to hit my 600, trying to hit my limit.
Yeah.
And somebody just happens to post a video of the original Fast and Furious. And it happens to have a video where the video happens to contain a clip of a white Volkswagen Jetta GTI driven by a guy named Jesse. It's the fucking actor and the car from the first. Remember the guy in the chair? Not the wheelchair, but the fucking the computer chair where he ordered things from Japan.
Yeah.
In the S2000.
The thing is, that guy isn't a real actor. Is it like he's not someone who's done other movies, has he?
I don't know, but he fucking has his car from the movie, or at least he cool. Works with the people that bought the car or reproduced a Volkswagen from the movie.
It's a very iconic car. I mean, I remember the Fast and Furious, like the first movie, had some pretty iconic cars.
Well, I mean, that was in the height of when the Rice Mobile hit, the shores. Yeah. When Underglow was the most awesome. NOS and underglow were the two most awesome things you can ever put on a car.
You got to be able to see underneath that thing in purple, yellow, and pink.
Yeah, sure. I don't know why anybody has underglow, but okay. Somebody suggested I put underglow on the car, and I was like, "You're joking, right?"
That way you can put up really loud hip-hop music, and you can have a bunch of women in booty shorts twerking around your car as it drives slowly, because you got to let that glow last on that black pavement. Otherwise, without the glow, the booty shaking doesn't happen.
Right,
you have to have the glow for the booty shaking to happen.
Yeah, the underglow brings the hose. Hashtag.
Yeah. Hashtag. That was actually their slogan. Wanna hoe, underglow. That was their slogan. Yeah.
Oh God! There's no sponsorship we're never gonna get.
Nope. That's okay though.
Yeah, I'm not sad about that one. What the fuck were we talking about? Oh yeah,
so that was Friday.
Yeah, so Saturday night I figured out, holy shit, that's Jesse's car from the first and Fast and Furious car before he got smoked. And I really want to ask him, man, how did you heal? Did you feel okay? Were you able to order parts from Japan? So that was really fresh. I mean, the anime cars are awesome. There was a car full of Pikachus. Made sure I got pictures of, which I will have all on our Facebook page. There isn't a ton, but at least there will be some.
Okay.
Which leads me to the last little bit, the most important part of the entire weekend. I mean, having press and media access is amazing, because I just get to run around, and when I'm not being stopped by people I know or stopping to talk to people I know, I can just take pictures of everybody or possibly get into a panel a little bit earlier than everybody else. Not guaranteed. Just having that and the opportunity, the ability, if you know the right people, to interview folks outside of your friends and the people you know.
Right, of course.
Which, you have to do your own homework for, which is tough, because every celebrity out there has 9 million agents for different things. And you contact one, they're like, oh, well, I'm their East Coast agent. You're in the mountain region. You need to find out, I don't cover them for that area.
Boom.
Like, okay, but who does? Well, I don't know. You need to contact them. Like, well, awesome. So I'm not good enough to figure out that sort of stuff. So I've kind of almost really given up on trying to find PR people for interviews at these things, unless I have already spoken to them prior, or I feel that they're obtainable.
Okay.
This year, didn't feel anybody was obtainable. I could have reached out to original Ash and asked if she can hook me up with new Ash. But I don't know what their relationship is. I wouldn't assume that kind of thing on her, on Veronica. That would not be.
She could have pointed you in the right direction.
She could have. She probably could have. She probably. But those are, you pull in favors. Oh, I guess the storm's over. Fireworks are starting again. Somebody's getting shot. One of the two, which has happened on this show before. So
that's true.
But
unusual sounds.
Yeah. But the most important thing that happened over the weekend, I was months ago. Somebody at FanExpo reached out and said, not reach out to me, but just reach out onto the general geek community. Does anybody want to moderate in Denver? Send a message to this person here. So I sent a message out, sold myself, listed the things that I've done. Never heard back. Now we have mutual friends that know the same person at FanExpo. And I reached out to that person, I was like, or one of those people, and I'm like, hey man, I never heard anything. He said, oh, don't worry about it. Don't worry. You'll hear closer to when it happens. And I just had faith in the process, and I did. And as we've talked about on the show the last couple of weeks, I was given an opportunity to host/moderate a couple sketch duels. Never done those.
No.
Never. Not a comic book reader. At least not a mainstream. More indie if I've read anything else. And I've read Deadpool a bunch.
Right.
Right. But I don't branch out. And even when I read the things, I'm reading it because I like the stories, and not necessarily because the art is rad. The art is rad, but I'm not that type of person to like, holy crap, this person drew this. I'm going to go meet him. I'm not that kind of a fan, I guess. I just enjoy things because I enjoy them.
Which is the right way to do it.
I like to think so.
Yeah.
So when I told my contact at FanExpo that I'm, that same thing, I'm casual at best and more indie. He was a little shocked that I didn't know who on offer was available. And I was just like, well, I'll do my research. I'll do my due diligence. And I did. I went out and got some 4x6 cards because I write too big for 3x5s.
Right. Yes, of course.
I do wish that the cards I got were lined. That would have been nice. They weren't, but I made do. I did my research. I looked up several different websites to look up information on these people to make sure information was accurate on these websites.
Right.
They all matched. For the most part. I wrote, and then as I tend to do, Francis, I like to ask the questions that people don't ask. So I dove deep, kind of like the Hot Ones guy, right? I know he's got producers, but I dove deep, and I tried to find little tiny things that I thought would be entertaining, at least for a couple minutes, or at least funny to bring up.
Sure.
So the first one, I arrived like half hour early for my first one because I'm nervous. I got sweaty balls from being nervous. And the lady outside, totally relaxed me. Said everything's gonna be fine. You got this handled. Just do your thing. And I was like, well, you don't even know who I am, but I appreciate that. The first artist showed up, and I was able to chit chat with him a little bit before we got started, which was really nice. The first one was John Delaney and Mike Kunkel. They were awesome. It was really nice because our buddy Jason over at the Elegant Weapon, he knew John Delaney, and I believe he had a conversation with him prior because he was very familiar with who I was when I introduced myself.
Oh, okay.
And so I said, please take it easy on me. And he said, Jason already told me to take it easy on you. I got you covered. So that was really nice. It was cool because I started the thing with, has anybody been to one of these? A sketch duel? And a whole bunch of people said yes. And I said, who hasn't? A whole bunch of people said no. And then I said, yeah, me too.
So this is typical. This is the thing that conventions do, right? Is the sketch dueling. Sketch dueling is not like a new phenomenon. It's been around for a while.
Oh yeah, it's just. But Francis, I mean, you are more of a panel person than I am.
Yeah, no. Well, I've never even heard of a sketch duel. That's why I'm asking, because even I am like, of all the panels I've ever attended. And plus, sketch duels wouldn't interest me anyway because it's just a couple of people drawing and then you get their picture afterward. But, I don't even remember seeing them on a schedule. I don't even remember seeing sketch duels.
Maybe sketch duel is a FanExpo thing.
Could be, yeah. It could be. Yeah.
More of a FanExpo thing.
Yeah.
I've never been one. I've never been to one. I've never seen one. I was not aware of what they even were when I signed up to do it to begin with, but I wanted, as I do, to challenge myself in this world of Comic-Con and press and stuff.
Right.
I'd given up on some things, but I like to challenge myself from time to time. So I said, let's do this. As I said, did my due diligence, got my information, and the first one I feel went really well. There was good suggestions from the crowd. A couple, I think we gave away 2 arts per artist.
Okay.
In an hour, because there was conversation happening, and that's the other thing is that I don't know what the balance is between shutting the hell up and letting them do the arts and having a conversation balanced with crowd interaction.
Yes.
I did, because there was a live mic in my hand. Dink dink. It was on the table, but I had a live mic in front of me. So I definitely introduced myself, told everybody who I was and where you could find me. So that was fun. That's always kind of ego boosting to say that and definitely not stutter when you're throwing it out there or trip on your own dick or anything. So that was really nice. I left the first one feeling fairly confident. I wrote down some extra questions. After going through that one, I was like, oh, that would have been good to ask. Why don't I ask it on the next one? I'm writing all this stuff down. And fireworks are getting closer. And
Same here.
And then it was like, okay, we're going into the second one. I had a PMU between the sessions, so I was caffeinated, and I had a Snickers, and I had some food in me, so I was ready to go. And then I don't know what happened. It went well. Nobody left, including the artists, but I feel like it didn't go as well as the first one. We gave away 2 arts. Well, 2 arts per person, but there were 3 artists in the second one. And the third, I was completely unprepared, unaware, and uneducated of who the person was. So it threw me off my game having a third person. I think they were thrown off by having a third person. And I feel the second one just went rough.
Well, it's also on a Sunday evening, afternoon. So it's getting close to the closing time, right? Because the convention usually closes down at 5 on a Sunday. So people are already kind of just last minute. They want to hit this. They want to hit the. I'm certain that your audience was smaller than the one that you got earlier that day. I'm gonna guess.
The 1 o'clock audience was a little bit bigger than the 3 o'clock. Yes.
Okay. So 3 o'clock. Okay. So there's only a 2-hour difference, but that's a big difference because at 3 o'clock, people who want to hit the show floor for the last minute buys, want to get their their exclusive stuff. A lot of conventions have traditions at the end of on their final panels, so they want to hit that. WonderCon, for a while it was Dr. Horrible sing-along blog, and then I think a couple years ago, you and I attended the one for the Buffy the Buffy musical, Once More with Feeling or whatever, and so that's a tradition for a lot of conventions to have that last panel that does something that's kind of cutesy and kind of very interactive and kind of just lets you unwind after a 3-day bender of convention. So you got a lot of pressure on you. So I think you did a good job for no one leaving and the artists kind of just with also a stressed out artist who had to leave immediately afterwards.
Yeah, and that was the other thing too, especially with that second one. Is that Jay Lee paints everything. He doesn't sketch. He paints it all. So here I am sitting as close to the center that you can of between 3 artists. I have 1 artist to my left, 2 artists to my right. The crowd throws out suggestions. The 3 decide which ones they're going to do. 2 start sketching, 1 starts painting. And I'm like, okay, I start the conversation. And as I'm conversating and asking questions, I'm watching art be created right in front of me. But
which is cool.
Which is amazing. But at the same time, I'm also noticing how long it's taking them to do the art that they said that they would do.
Right.
So I'm trying to buy time for them by asking them questions or having the crowd ask questions.
Mm-hmm.
And it took 45 minutes to do an art.
Oh wow.
And so I mean, like, not being experienced in this, I didn't want to be like, all right, well, let's give this shit away, like before it was done. Ding ding. One artist was like hella done with an art while the other two were still arting. So I've never done this before, so I'm just like winging it the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, I think the second one went incredibly rough.
Sure. I mean, it's hard to say without hearing feedback, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which I don't know if. I mean, I'm sure conventions do that. I'm sure people do provide feedback, and
I would definitely, just for my own educational purposes, love some feedback.
Yeah. Having done a few panels, I know that I remember a couple of them that I did with No Ordinary Nerd. They're like, can you please contact this convention so that we come back next year, right? Let them know you enjoyed this panel so we can be invited back in next year. So I'm guessing there is some type of outlet for people to be like, oh man, that Josh guy, he certainly was, funny, or he really was good at describing what painting looks like. I don't know what you did, so I'm guessing you were like,
I was trying to be
kind
as
of
entertaining
asking questions,
just trying to be as entertaining as possible and be funny when I could,
right?
Not forcefully, but
Sure.
like, how I am quick with. If you say something, I'm pretty quick with something quippy, I guess.
Sure. Yeah.
So one of the questions I asked was, what project are you currently, I think it was, what project are you most excited about right now? And one of the artists said, what I'm doing right now. You know me, Francis. I'm incredibly literal.
Right.
So I looked at him dead in his soul and I was like, right now on stage? And the whole crowd busted up.
Oh, good. No, there you go.
And he giggled a bit too, and he pulled it back together pretty quick and actually talked about the project he was really excited about. But it was a moment of great Joshism.
Joshism. Yeah.
And I was like, yep, that was good. Good comedic timing, Josh.
I hope you got yourself like a celebratory drink afterwards of some sort.
I don't drink, but
no, I meant just beverage in general.
Oh,
it doesn't have
I mean, I may have sucked down a root beer or a ginger ale or something, but it was just overall it was an awesome experience, and I really hope that I get to continue to not only do things for the media press side of things, but also moderate or host. I don't know if sketch duels are my thing. Maybe I got to do a whole bunch of research more and do some homework.
Nah, look, you're not gonna find that type of niche and everything. I think your niche is still panels, like is moderating a panel.
I think a one-on-one would just be more my thing.
Right, that's more your speed than having to kind of like entertain during an hour-long sketch duel.
Entertain and at the same time, entertain and moderate at this. I don't know what I'm trying to say.
I think
because like the schedule, I felt like I was having a balance between, like I said, moderating, being someone to continue. I got the hiccups. Continue the conversation, but at the same time, like, they're arting. Like, would I want to be interrupted while I'm arting? Probably not.
Well,
but at the same time, awkward silences fucking suck.
Well, so what I feel like a sketch duel would, and again, this is just something you were kind of thrown into, so this is not a criticism of you in a sketch duel, but I feel like if I were, and having never seen a sketch duel, having never been to one, I guess like the ideal kind of host would be someone who is an artist who can kind of explain what's happening between the artists. Like, oh, look how they shaded this thing here, or look how they, as opposed to interacting with them and talking to them, you can actually be like, oh, look how they did the eyes around this character. That's called a blah 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 eye, or that's called a something sketch, right? Like, or a type of move that sketch does. So maybe that's kind of the expectation. That's what I'm saying. Like, that's not your thing. You're not an artist,
right?
But maybe a panel where you talk to an artist and kind of ask about those type of things. Like, what is that thing you call when you do that thing with an eye? Like, oh, that's called ocular something or other.
Right. And then you could build off of that. Yeah. I think that's just more my speed. And like I said, I do like to challenge myself.
Well, was it? But you had a good time.
I had a blast, and I got to see this art. Like I said, get created 3 different ways. One with my own pen, which was pretty awesome. And then just watching 4 different artists use a pen or a marker or whatever, different ways. Like most people would hold the pen vertically or some sort of variant of 45 to vertical, right? But one artist was holding his pencil completely horizontal, perpendicular, right? Yeah, no, perpendicular would be that way. Right? Parallel with the page, and was sketching. This doesn't work on the camera, but sketching lines with his pen horizontal to the page. And then there's Jay Lee painting. And it was really cool to watch this stuff go from like a simple couple lines. And I'm like, how is he going to make Green Lantern swat a fly? He just started with 2 gigantic swoopy lines. What the fuck is he going to do? 5 minutes later, with some actual inking and some shading and coloring, there's, John Stewart, Green Arrow John Stewart swatting a fly with his ring.
Yeah. I mean, look, I'm not surprised that you were able to, and like, this is cake for you. This is old hat. I'm not surprised that you did well in handling these situations and kind of like going with the flow. I'm sure people really appreciated what you did. I'm sure the artist, I'm sure you talked to that one artist, that one guy, the John Delaney, who you're friends with. Positive, he probably has some pretty positive things to say about you. So, even if it may not be your bag, it certainly was a challenge that you rose to. So you gotta really give yourself a lot of credit for something that you were not ready for, in the sense of like you're not, you weren't, you've never done it before in that sense. Like you weren't familiar with it, and you picked up, you got ready for it and you did it. So, that's pretty cool. It's pretty awesome that you got to do it.
And the whole weekend, not really the whole weekend, but I mean Sunday was a day about challenges to myself.
Yeah.
I was slinging comic books to people that I had never read. Right. You know what I'm saying? And mostly my angle was there were 3 authors and there were 3 books that were for free that were written by those 3 authors. So the angle was the author's here, he'll sign it for you.
Yeah.
And then they can do the job of actually selling the book to them that they just got for free, or another product that they have. So, in coming up with a sales pitch for the 4 or 5 books that were available that I had never read, but knowing who they work with because we're friends with those fucking people, and knowing that what their premise is over there at Source Point is mostly all horror stuff, or at least darker toned stuff. That's all you really had to go with. So I was there scanning people's badges and slinging books left and right. And it was only a couple challenges when people were like, well, tell me about this book here. And I'd just be like, I don't know. And I know at least being familiar with the people that, or friends with the people that wrote this stuff. And knowing, following them on the Facebook or Twitters or Instagram, and for years now, and knowing that this stuff's been worked on and everything else, that at least I'm glad I paid attention to all of that so I can kind of have an understanding of what this book was that the kid was asking me about. I've never read it, right? But I've watched it get developed for 4 or 5 years or whatever it was.
Yeah.
So I kind of had a basic understanding. And luckily, one of our, mutual friends, acquaintances, was the artist. So I was like, at least I know the art is rad, even if I've never seen the actual finished product in the book. And it was written by a guy I think is pretty fucking rad. So it's got to be good.
That's a pretty good sales pitch.
Yeah.
That's a pretty good sales pitch.
So, yeah, shout out to SourcePoint for, wow, that's a big mortar. Shout out to SourcePoint for, recognizing the lonely Josh out here in the Denver land. And I'm grateful for people being that nice to me. Like I said, between SourcePoint and Nikki being incredibly nice to someone who because I'm a defeatist to myself, probably don't need to be friends with or have any reason to be friends with. It's really cool that these people, like I said, that don't really have any reason to be friends with me, recognize me or ask me to help them. And it's whatever. It's just how I feel. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I have a little bit of imposter syndrome. I do.
Yeah. Because it's just like, I don't have any, with these, like with SourcePoint guys, like I don't write anything. I support some of their projects when they come up, and I think they're fucking cool. I'm like, yes, take my money, but like I don't have anything to offer them aside from my stunning good looks, good voice, and ability to pitch products I've never have any experience with.
That's all they want, man. That's all they want.
No, but it was really cool. And then again, a huge thank you to FanExpo for again, letting the little guy that's the little local press guy in Denver to cover the show, to continue covering a show that I've got to be a part of since its inception. So it's really cool to finally, after 10 years of covering the show, to have a table one year to, interview actual celebrities in former years, be asked to interview certain celebrities in former years.
Yeah.
To finally, for someone in the current company running the show to be like, are you still interested to come and do something official with the show? Like, it was a huge feather in the cap, the podcasting cap for me. It may not seem like much to anybody out there, but for the shy kid that started this thing 10 years ago and have somehow convinced all these people that I'm worthy of a media badge, I think it goes to show the work that I've put in. I understand this, and I should give myself much more credit. But it's so cool to get to do these things, and I hope I get to continue doing them because I love that nervous, challenging energy that I get, because it does make me perform. Even if I feel I'm doing a horrible job, it doesn't matter because I'm doing it. And I'm not being like, oh my God, I'm going to shit myself and leave. It's for the shy kid that is who I am, it's really nice to be able to do it. And sit in front of a crowd of people. The crowd was much smaller than Teenage Negasonic Teenage Warhead or BB-8 or Kevin Sorbo. Like, much smaller, but more intimate at the same time. It's in a smaller room, so it looked like there was more people and they were closer.
Right. Yeah.
So I'm thankful for the crowd.
Well deserved.
I'm also thankful for the crowd. The crowd in both things were awesome. They were excellent. They had tons of suggestions. When they laughed at my shitty jokes, you know, and when I asked for interaction, they interacted. So I mean, it was all around success. I should be more
Good.
I should be nicer to myself, but until I hear something official, I will continue to beat myself up a little bit until, you know, just because that's who I am.
How much more official than being asked to do a thing, right?
I mean, to be re-asked to do a thing. I mean, that's much like winning the Stanley Cup, man. Like, defending it. It's much more prestigious.
Greek for a second, but you need to keep it going.
Yeah. Defending it is much more prestigious than winning. I don't know. But, yeah, it was a great weekend. And it's crazy. This was my first con of the year. Like,
yeah, that's true. Yeah.
You know, Collecticon was Collecticon was early in the year, I guess. But I wasn't there on an official capacity. I was there just to go and have fun.
You bought a ticket, didn't you?
I bought a ticket. Yeah.
Yeah. Doesn't count.
Exactly. Yeah, so it was a good time, and I, like I said, just hope that I get to continue to do this, and you know, we get to continue to do this here, and you know, maybe we can bring this to a show sometime. That'd be a lot of fun.
Never know.
We never know what the future can hold. But
Oof.
You know,
you're celebrating your victory there.
So yes, and maybe we should go celebrate because it is Independence Day. That's probably why nobody's watching on Twitch. Plus, my internet sucks.
I was gonna say, like, I'm certain people are out watching fireworks, or still barbecuing, or still having parties. No one's online right now,
exactly.
Unless you're outside of the country, and we don't have a lot of outside of the country like viewers. So. Yeah, but people are celebrating their Independence Day today.
Yes, here in the good old America. So I'm gonna. Well, I don't have any fireworks to launch, but I might walk down the half a block here where all the commotion's happening, and maybe watch some, and then go to bed. Francis, where can people find you on the internets if they so wish
at
to?
AKA the Other Guy on Twitter and Instagram, AKA the Other Guy for. All social medias, and then just Super Geeked Up tomorrow, 7 p.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. Eastern. I don't know if we have a guest or not, but we're going to have a good time doing improv, comedy bits, and all that good stuff. We'll probably talk about a little more Independence Day, so go ahead and check it out. It's a fun improv, geeky show. Fun for the whole family. Not really.
I'm going to go watch Independence Day before I go to bed, because that is tradition, and I forgot I don't have the disc anymore, and it's only available on Stars to stream, so I signed up for the free trial just so I can watch ID4.
It's either ID4 or Team America, so you know.
Oh, that would have been a good idea too. Damn it, but I'm committed now. I got my snack ready for ID4. I'm ready to, you know, welcome something to Earth. So, you can follow everything at POI Podcast. Call us, voicemail, text 314-764-7631. We're available for all moderating purposes, hosting, and anything else you might need our sultry voices for. All you Comic-Con people out there,
sure, get
a hold of us. You can do that at emailing us at thepoipodcast@gmail.com. See, that was slick, huh? You can find me at 303 underscore ninja on the Twitters, 303 ninja on the Instagram. That's everything, I think. Hope you all had a good time. Thanks again for FanExpo. You guys are rad. Francis, you're radder though, because you put up with me for these last 10 years of my BS and whatnot.
Always fun. You're the best, man.
But you're better. But yeah, thanks everybody, and we'll be back next Tuesday on a tighter schedule. Because I'm tired. We're out of here. See you. Bye.